The door locked behind her with a sound that echoed through the empty apartment. Click. Not a normal lock. Something heavier, mechanical, final. She turned, smiled nervously, tried the handle. It didn't move, and that's when his smile changed. That's when she realized the person she'd been texting for 3 weeks, the person who seemed so perfect, the person standing 5 feet away, that person didn't exist anymore. What stood in front of her now was something else entirely, and no one knew where she was. Every day, millions of people swipe through profiles looking for love, for connection, for someone who gets them. Most matches lead nowhere. Some lead to coffee dates. A few lead to relationships. But some matches lead somewhere else, somewhere dark, somewhere final, somewhere families spend years searching, where missing person posters fade in the sun, where the truth comes too late. What you're about to hear are 8 true cases, 8 people who matched with someone on Tinder, 8 people who thought they were meeting someone safe, someone verified, someone real. They were wrong. These aren't stories. These are documented murders, real investigations, real victims, real families still grieving. The names have been changed. The details are from police reports, court transcripts, detective testimonies, because sometimes the person behind the profile isn't looking for love. They're looking for something they can destroy. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because here at Forbidden Visions, we expose the darkness hiding in plain sight, the monsters using our phones as hunting grounds, the predators who've learned to speak our language. And trust me, after tonight, you'll understand why some matches should never happen. Grace matched with Daniel on a Tuesday afternoon. His profile showed a man in his late 20s, software developer, photos at coffee shops and bookstores, classes, friendly smile. His bio mentioned loving mystery novels and indie films. He seemed intellectual, thoughtful, safe. Seattle, October 2019. Rain constant. The city gray and wet, like it always is. Grace was 24, worked as a graphic designer, lived alone in a studio apartment in Capitol Hill, independent, careful, smart. They talked for 3 weeks, long conversations, deep ones. He asked about her childhood, her dreams, what scared her, what made her happy. He shared things too, about his family, his job, his anxiety, real things, vulnerable things. It felt genuine. When Daniel suggested meeting at his place for dinner, Grace hesitated. She knew the rules, public first, always public. But Daniel had what seemed like good reasons. He was immunocompromised. COVID was still a concern. Public places felt risky. Plus, he loved cooking, wanted to make her his grandmother's pasta recipe, something special, personal. Grace thought about it. 3 weeks of conversation, video calls where she'd seen his apartment, his cat, his bookshelves. Everything seemed legitimate. She agreed. Saturday evening, 7 p.m., Grace arrived at the address Daniel had given her, a nice building in Fremont, secure entrance, other residents coming and going. She texted her roommate the address, shared her location, followed the safety protocols. Daniel buzzed her up. 3rd floor, apartment 3C. Grace climbed the stairs. Her phone showed full bars. The hallway was well lit. Music playing from other apartments. Voices, life, safety. She knocked. Daniel opened the door, exactly like his photos. Same glasses, same smile. He was wearing an apron. She could smell garlic and tomatoes, hear music playing inside. Jazz, soft lighting. "You found it," he said. "Come in. Hope you're hungry." Grace stepped inside. The apartment looked exactly like the video calls. Same furniture, same posters. The cat immediately approached, rubbing against her legs. "That's Kafka," Daniel said, closing the door behind her. "He likes you. That's a good sign." Grace heard the lock engage. Normal. Expected. You lock your door when you have a guest. That's what people do. She didn't hear the second lock, the deadbolt, the chain, the security bar being slid into place. "Wine?" Daniel asked, heading to the kitchen. "Sure," Grace said, setting her bag down. Looking around, everything seemed normal, comfortable, safe. Daniel poured 2 glasses, red wine, expensive looking, handed one to Grace. "To new connections," he said. They clinked glasses. Grace took a sip. It was good, smooth. They talked while Daniel cooked. The conversation flowed easily, just like the texts, just like the calls. Grace started to relax. This was nice, normal. Maybe she'd been too paranoid. Maybe first dates at home were fine when you'd built trust first. After 20 minutes, Grace felt tired, strange. The room was tilting slightly. "I think I need to sit down," she said. "Of course," Daniel said, his voice different now, flatter. "The couch is right there." Grace sat. The wine glass slipped from her hand, fell on the carpet, red spreading like blood. "What?" she tried to say. Her tongue wasn't working right. Her arms felt like concrete. Daniel was standing over her now, not smiling anymore, just watching, clinical, detached. "The wine was special," he said. "Don't worry, you won't remember most of this." Grace tried to scream. Nothing came out. Tried to reach for her phone. Couldn't move. Couldn't do anything but watch as Daniel pulled a plastic tarp from the hallway closet. Grace's roommate reported her missing when she didn't come home, when her location stopped updating, when calls went straight to voicemail. Police went to the address, apartment 3C. No one answered. Building management said the apartment was vacant, had been for 2 months. Previous tenant moved out. New tenant hadn't moved in yet, but Grace's location had pinged there for 3 hours before her phone died. They got a warrant, broke down the door. The apartment was empty. No furniture, no cat, no bookshelves, nothing. Just bare walls and carpet stains that had been scrubbed recently. Daniel's profile deleted. The number he'd given Grace disconnected. Burner phone. The video calls staged. He'd furnished that apartment just enough, just for a few calls, just to build trust. Everything was a lie. Grace's body was found 6 days later in a dumpster behind a restaurant 3 miles away, wrapped in plastic. The medical examiner said she'd been dead for less than 24 hours after she entered that apartment. Daniel was never found. His real name wasn't Daniel. The software company he claimed to work for didn't exist. Every detail was fiction. But his Tinder profile exists again. Different name, different city, same pattern, same apartment trick, same wine, same plastic tarp in the closet, waiting for someone else to say yes. Los Angeles, summer heat, making the asphalt soft, the kind of weather where your car's steering wheel burns your hands. Marcus was 31, bartender, worked nights, slept days, had trouble meeting people with his schedule. Tinder Made sense. Convenient. Could message between shifts. He matched with someone named Alexis. Her photos showed a woman in her late 20s, blonde, fit, yoga instructor according to her bio, loved hiking and meditation, and green smoothies, the kind of LA profile you see 1,000 times. But Alexis was different. She messaged first, was direct, confident, asked him out within a day of matching. "Why wait?" she messaged. "Life's too short. Want to grab drinks tomorrow?" Marcus liked that. No games, no endless texting, straight to the point. They met at a bar in Silver Lake. Public, crowded. Marcus arrived first, ordered a beer, waited. Alexis walked in 15 minutes late. Looked exactly like her photos, maybe better. She smiled, waved, sat next to him at the bar. "Sorry I'm late," she said. "Traffic was insane." They talked for 2 hours. Easy conversation. She was funny, charming, touchy, kept putting her hand on his arm, laughing at his jokes. Marcus felt good. This was going well. "Want to get out of here?" Alexis asked. "My place is close. We could have a nightcap, something more private." Marcus hesitated. First date, her place. That seemed fast, but Alexis read his hesitation. "I'm not a serial killer," she laughed. "I promise. Scout's honor." She held up 3 fingers, that innocent gesture, that disarming smile. Marcus laughed. "Okay, yeah, let's go." They walked to her car, a BMW. Nice, clean. She drove them through winding hills, expensive neighborhood, houses hidden behind gates and hedges. "You live up here?" Marcus asked, impressed. "Family money," Alexis said. "Trust fund baby, guilty as charged." She pulled into a driveway. Gate opened automatically. The house was modern, glass and steel, lights on inside, warm, inviting. They went in. Alexis poured drinks, vodka sodas. They sat on a white leather couch, floor-to-ceiling windows, showing the city lights below. Marcus felt like he was in a movie. This didn't happen to bartenders from Cleveland. This was a fantasy. "I'll be right back," Alexis said. "Make yourself comfortable." She disappeared down a hallway. Marcus heard a door close, water running. He looked around. The house felt empty. No photos, no personal items, just expensive furniture and art that looked like it came with the place. Something felt wrong. Marcus stood, walked to the windows. They didn't open. Decorative, sealed. He heard footsteps, turned, but it wasn't Alexis. It was a man, large, muscular, tattoos covering his arms. "Who the fuck are you?" Marcus said. The man didn't answer, just advanced. Marcus backed up. "Where's Alexis?" "There is no Alexis," the man said. Marcus ran toward the front door. It was locked. Chain, deadbolt. He fumbled with the locks, hands shaking. The man grabbed him, threw him against the wall. Marcus fought, threw punches, connected with the man's jaw. It didn't matter. The man was too big, too strong, too practiced. Marcus woke up in darkness, couldn't move, tied to something. Metal, cold. His head was pounding, blood in his mouth. He heard voices, a man and a woman. Alexis, arguing about something, about money, about him. Marcus realized this wasn't a date. This was never a date. This was a trap, a setup. He was bait, prey, a mark. For the next 6 hours, Marcus was tortured. They wanted banking information, passwords, access to everything. When he gave them what they wanted, they didn't stop. They kept going because they could, because they enjoyed it. Marcus's body was found 3 weeks later, buried in the Angeles National Forest. Shallow grave. Coyotes had scattered the remains. Dental records confirmed his identity. The house where he died didn't belong to anyone named Alexis. It was a rental, paid for with cryptocurrency. Security footage from the bar showed Alexis, but facial recognition came up empty. No matches, no identity. The man was never identified. The BMW was found abandoned in Tijuana, wiped clean. Alexis's profile disappeared, but others popped up. Different names, different photos, same pattern, same trap, same rental houses in the hills. Marcus's mother still posts on Facebook, asking if anyone has information, begging for answers, offering rewards. No one responds because the people who know are the ones who killed him, and they're already hunting again. Do you trust too easily? Do you ignore that voice saying something's wrong because you don't want to seem paranoid? Drop a comment below, because that voice, that instinct, it's trying to save your life. And sometimes being rude is better than being dead. Boston, winter, snow piled 6 feet high along streets. The cold so intense it hurts to breathe. Jennifer was 28, PhD student studying biochemistry. Brilliant, driven, worked 16-hour days in the lab, didn't have time for traditional dating. Tinder filled the gap. She matched with Thomas, 33, professor at a different university. His profile showed someone intellectual, serious. Photos in lecture halls and libraries. His bio mentioned molecular biology and classical music. Finally, Jennifer thought, someone who gets it. They talked about science, about research, about the frustration of academia. Thomas understood, had been through it, offered advice, encouragement. After 2 weeks, he suggested meeting for coffee. Public, daytime, the university cafe. Jennifer agreed. This felt safe, professional even. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Jennifer arrived early, got her usual latte, found a table, waited. Thomas arrived exactly on time. Looked like his photos, tweedy jacket, glasses, friendly but reserved smile. Very professor-like. They talked for 3 hours, lost track of time. The conversation was incredible, stimulating, exactly what Jennifer had been missing. When they finally noticed the cafe was closing, Thomas suggested continuing the conversation. His office was a 10-minute walk. He had first editions of papers they'd been discussing, could show her his research. Jennifer hesitated. His office, that seemed appropriate though, professional, academic, not really a date location, more like a colleague meeting. Just for an hour, Thomas said. Then I'll walk you to your car. Promise. They walked through campus, snow crunching under their feet, the cold making their breath visible. The campus was mostly empty. Winter break. Most students gone. Thomas's building was old, brick, classic New England architecture. They went inside, up 3 flights of stairs, down a long hallway. His office was at the end, small, windows looking out at bare trees, bookshelves covering every wall, desk buried under papers, exactly what a professor's office should look like. Jennifer relaxed. This was fine. This was normal. Thomas closed the door. To keep the heat in, he explained. This building's heating system is terrible. He showed her his papers, his research. They talked, debated, argued about methodology. An hour passed, then 2. "I should go," Jennifer said finally. "I have work tomorrow." "Of course," Thomas said. "Let me just grab my coat." He moved toward the door, but didn't open it, just stood there, blocking it. "Actually," he said, his voice different now, "I think you should stay a little longer." Jennifer's stomach dropped. "I really need to go." "I disagree." Thomas pulled something from his pocket, a syringe. Jennifer screamed, threw herself at the door. Thomas grabbed her. They struggled. Jennifer fought, bit his hand, drew blood. Thomas swore, dropped the syringe. It rolled under the desk. Jennifer ran down the hallway, the stairs, burst outside into the cold. She ran across campus, didn't stop until she reached her car, locked the doors, called 911. Police went to Thomas's office. The building was locked. Security said no professor named Thomas worked there. The office Jennifer described, storage closet, unused, locked. But they found the syringe, sent it to the lab. Inside was a heavy sedative, enough to knock someone unconscious for hours. They also found something else, behind a false wall in the closet. A room, small, soundproofed, chains bolted to the floor, a mattress, supplies, food, water, enough to keep someone alive for weeks. Thomas was never caught. His profile was fake. The university photos were real, but stolen from an actual professor. That professor was in Sweden on sabbatical, had no idea his images were being used. Campus security footage showed Thomas entering the building with Jennifer, showed her running out alone 40 minutes later, but Thomas never left. He just vanished. Searches of the building found nothing, no one hiding, no secret passages, just empty offices and classrooms. But here's what investigators discovered. The building had been used before. 3 years earlier, a graduate student disappeared, last seen entering that building, never found. 2 years before that, an undergraduate, same building, same disappearance. 5 cases total, all women, all met someone from Tinder, all last seen entering that building. The university won't talk about it. Sealed records, settlements with families, NDAs signed. But the building is still there, still in use, and Thomas's profile still exists. Different name, different university, same pattern. Still looking for someone who loves research, who'll walk across an empty campus in winter, who'll follow him into an old building with bad heating and offices at the end of long hallways. Jennifer got lucky. She fought, she ran, she survived. The others didn't. Denver, spring, the mountains still snow-capped, air thin and clean. Rachel was 35, divorced, 2 kids with her ex, looking to start over. Tinder felt like a second chance. She matched with someone named David, 41, contractor. His photos showed someone rugged, handsome in a weathered way. Work photos at construction sites, camping photos, a dog, simple bio, honest work, good values. Rachel liked that. No pretense, no games, just a guy with a job and a life. They talked for a month. David was patient, understanding, didn't push, asked about her kids, respected her boundaries, seemed genuinely interested in building something real. When he finally suggested meeting, he offered to come to her, cook dinner at her place. That way she'd be comfortable, safe, in control. Rachel appreciated that, really appreciated it. Most guys wanted to meet at bars, wanted her to come to them. David was different. She said yes. Friday night, Rachel's ex had the kids for the weekend. She cleaned the house, felt nervous, excited. It had been so long since she'd felt this way. David arrived at 7, on time. He looked exactly like his photos, brought flowers, wine, groceries for dinner, smiled warmly. "Thanks for trusting me enough to let me in your home," he said. "I know that's a big deal." They cooked together, talked, laughed. David was easy, comfortable, made her feel at ease in her own kitchen. Dinner was perfect. The conversation was perfect. Everything was perfect. After dinner, they moved to the living room, sat on the couch, talked more. David moved closer, kissed her. Rachel kissed back. It felt right, natural. Then David's phone rang. He looked at it, frowned. "I'm so sorry," he said. "It's my daughter. Emergency. I need to take this." He stepped into the kitchen. Rachel heard him talking, serious tone, concerned. He came back looking stressed. "I have to go. My daughter's in the ER. I'm so sorry." "Of course," Rachel said. "Go. Is she okay?" "I think so, but I need to be there. Can I call you later?" "Absolutely." David gathered his things, hugged her. "I had a wonderful time. I'll call you from the hospital." He left. Rachel cleaned up, felt disappointed, but understood. Kids come first. She respected that. She went to bed around midnight, fell asleep thinking about the kiss, about how right it felt. Rachel woke up at 3 a.m. Someone was in her bedroom, standing at the foot of her bed, dark shape, silent, just watching. She screamed, reached for her phone. The shape moved fast, grabbed her wrist. "Quiet," David said. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." "What are you doing?" Rachel tried to fight, tried to scream again. David covered her mouth. "I left the kitchen window unlocked while you were setting the table. You didn't notice. He'd planned this. The whole evening, the dinner, the emergency, all of it designed to get inside her house, to learn the layout, to unlatch the window, to come back when she was sleeping, vulnerable, alone." Rachel fought, harder than she'd ever fought for anything. She had kids, had a life, had everything to lose. She got her hand free, scratched David's face, drew blood. He jerked back, swearing. Rachel ran out of the bedroom, down the hall, to the front door, fumbled with the lock, got it open, ran outside, screaming, barefoot in the cold night air. Lights came on in neighbors' houses. Doors opened. People came out. David was gone, out the kitchen window, into the night. Police found the window unlocked, found his fingerprints throughout the house, found something else too. A bag hidden in Rachel's garage, behind boxes. David had put it there during dinner. Inside the bag, rope, duct tape, plastic sheeting, cleaning supplies, a change of clothes, everything he'd need. David was arrested 2 days later, trying to board a flight to Mexico. In his apartment, police found trophies, jewelry, IDs, photos, 15 women, all from Tinder, all single mothers, all living alone. 6 of them were dead, 9 were missing. Rachel was supposed to be number 16. During his interrogation, David explained his method, the patient courtship, the respectful approach, the offer to come to their homes, all designed to seem safe, non-threatening, different from other men. "Single mothers are perfect," he told detectives. They're careful, but they're also desperate for someone who respects them, someone who understands their responsibilities. You give them that, they'll let you right in." He smiled when he said it, like he was sharing a business tip. David is serving multiple life sentences, will never see freedom. But his method? Other predators are using it now. The patient approach, the respectful persona, the offer to come to the victim's home. Because it works. Because women feel safer in their own space. Because having someone come to you feels like control. But control is an illusion when you invite a monster inside. If you're still watching, hit that like button. We're halfway through. 5 more cases, 5 more warnings, 5 more reasons to understand that the person who seems perfect might be perfectly dangerous. Atlanta. Summer humidity so thick you can taste it. The kind of heat that makes everything exhausting. Melissa was 26, nurse, worked in pediatrics, sweet, kind, believed in the good in people. That belief almost killed her. She matched with someone named Chris, 29, paramedic. His profile felt like fate. Same field, same shift schedules, same understanding of the stress and pain of medical work. They talked for weeks, shared stories from work, the saves, the losses, the toll it took. Chris got it, really got it, understood in ways her non-medical friends couldn't. He suggested meeting after a night shift, 5 a.m., when normal people were asleep, but they were finally free. Waffle House, the only place open, the place where night shift workers gathered. Melissa loved that idea. Romantic in a strange way. Real, not some staged coffee date. She met him at the Waffle House near the hospital, still in her scrubs, exhausted but excited. Chris was already there, in the booth. Paramedic uniform, looked tired, real, exactly like his photos. They ordered coffee, hash browns, talked while the sun came up. Other night shift workers drifted in, cops, truck drivers, other nurses. Melissa felt safe, surrounded by her people. After an hour, Chris suggested a drive. He knew a place, a viewpoint overlooking the city, beautiful at sunrise, close by. Melissa was tired, should go home, sleep, but she didn't want this to end, didn't want to go back to her empty apartment. "Okay," she said, "but just for a few minutes." They drove in Chris's car, a white van, EMT equipment in the back, official looking, made sense for a paramedic. He drove out of the city, toward the suburbs, the roads getting emptier, the buildings spreading out. "Where is this place?" Melissa asked. "Just a bit further," Chris said. "It's worth it, promise." They turned onto a dirt road, trees thick on both sides, no houses, no people, just forest. Melissa's exhaustion was turning to anxiety. "Chris, I think I should get back. We're almost there." But they weren't going to a viewpoint. They were going deeper into the woods, further from civilization. Melissa reached for her phone. No signal. "Stop the van," she said. "Now." Chris didn't stop, kept driving. "Stop the fucking van!" Melissa grabbed the wheel, jerked it. The van swerved, went off the road, hit a tree. Not fast, but hard enough. The airbags deployed. Melissa didn't wait. She unbuckled, threw open the door, ran into the forest, branches whipping her face, scrubs catching on thorns. She could hear Chris behind her, yelling, chasing. But Melissa ran marathons, was fast, even exhausted, even terrified. She ran, found a road, flagged down a car, an elderly couple, terrified of this wild-eyed woman in bloody scrubs, but they called 911. Police found Chris's van, found him trying to pry it away from the tree, trying to leave. They arrested him, searched the van, found the EMT equipment wasn't real, wasn't official, just props, bought online, staged. They found more, a second phone, messages with other women, all nurses, all matched on Tinder, all similar conversations. They found a location saved in his GPS, a cabin deep in those woods, off-grid, no neighbors, no witnesses. They went to the cabin, found evidence, blood, lots of blood, hair, DNA from multiple people. Chris wasn't a paramedic, wasn't in medicine, was a plumber, had been fired 3 years ago, had been living in his van, using Tinder to hunt. His type, medical professionals, women who worked nights, who were tired, vulnerable, whose judgment was impaired by exhaustion. 3 women were identified from DNA in the cabin, all missing, all matched with Chris on Tinder, all last seen leaving work. Their bodies were never found. The forest is large. The searches turned up nothing. Chris won't talk, won't say where they are, gives families no closure, no peace. He's serving life, but in interviews, he smiles, like he knows something they don't, like he has secrets buried in those woods that will outlive him. Melissa quit nursing, couldn't do it anymore. The trauma of what almost happened, the guilt of surviving when others didn't, the knowledge that she got in that van willingly. I trusted the uniform, she told police. I thought if he was a paramedic, he was safe. He was one of us. But the uniform was a costume. Everything was a lie. Now she warns others, speaks at conferences, teaches women that credentials can be faked, uniforms can be bought, that being in the same profession doesn't mean someone is trustworthy. But she knows her warnings won't save everyone, because Chris's method works, because tired people make mistakes, because we all want to believe that someone from our world is safe. They're not. Sometimes they're the most dangerous, because they know exactly how to exploit our trust. Portland, Maine, fall, leaves turning orange and gold, the air crisp, tourist season ending. Amanda was 33, real estate agent, successful, independent, had her life together. Tinder was for fun, for possibilities, no pressure. She matched with someone named Ryan, 37, owned a restaurant. His profile showed someone established, mature, photos at his restaurant, with his staff, at food festivals. Amanda was impressed. This was a real person, with a real business, verifiable. She even looked him up, found the restaurant online, reviews, articles. Ryan had been featured in local food magazines. This wasn't a catfish. This was legitimate. They talked about business, about the stress of ownership, about difficult clients and staffing issues. Ryan was smart, funny, grounded. When he invited her to dinner at his restaurant, Amanda felt excited. This was the kind of date she wanted. Adult, sophisticated. Come on a Monday, Ryan messaged. We're closed. I'll cook for you personally. Just us. Best table in the house. Amanda loved that idea. Private, romantic, special. Monday evening, Amanda arrived at the restaurant. The lights were off except for one table. Candles, music playing softly. Beautiful. Ryan was in the kitchen, called out, "Come on back. Almost done." Amanda walked through the dining room, into the kitchen. Commercial, shining, expensive. Ryan was at the stove, chef's coat on, smiling. "Hope you like seafood." They talked while he cooked. Amanda perched on a stool, sipping wine he'd poured, watching him work. This felt like something special. Dinner was amazing, the best meal Amanda had ever eaten. Ryan was talented, really talented. After dessert, Ryan suggested a tour. Show her the whole place, the office, the prep room, the wine cellar. "The wine cellar is really cool," he said. "Original brick, from when this building was a house. 1800s. Amanda followed him, down a hallway, to a door, stairs leading down. "Watch your step," Ryan said. "It's dark." They descended, stone steps, cool air, damp smell. Ryan flipped a switch. Dim bulbs illuminated rows of wine bottles. "Wow," Amanda said. "This is incredible." "Right?" Ryan was behind her, close. "Been collecting for years." Amanda turned. Ryan was holding something. Metal, heavy. A pipe. He swung. Amanda moved. Pure instinct. The pipe missed her head, caught her shoulder. Pain exploded. She fell. "Don't run," Ryan said, calm, like he was instructing a cook. "You'll just make it worse." Amanda ran toward the stairs. Ryan grabbed her ankle. She fell, hit her head on stone. Everything went gray. When she woke, she was chained, ankle cuffed to the wall, stone floor cold beneath her, the wine cellar, but a different part, deeper, no windows, no way out. Ryan was sitting on a crate, watching her, still in his chef's coat, like this was normal, like this was just another night. "You're awake," he said. "Good. I was worried I hit you too hard." "Why?" Amanda's voice cracked. "Why are you doing this?" "Because I can," Ryan said, simply, honestly. "Because I own this building, this cellar. No one comes down here. Deliveries go to the side door. Staff don't have keys to the cellar. It's perfect." Perfect for what? Amanda realized. For keeping people. For doing things no one would know about. "How long?" she asked. How long what? How long do you keep them?" Ryan smiled. "You're perceptive. That's good. Makes it more interesting." He didn't answer the question. Didn't need to. The chain on Amanda's ankle was worn. Used before. Many times before. For 3 days, Amanda was kept in that cellar. Ryan brought food, water, acted like a host, like this was hospitality. On the 4th day, Ryan made a mistake, left the cellar door unlocked, distracted by a food delivery upstairs. Amanda had been working on the chain. The bolt in the wall was old, the stone crumbling. She pulled harder, ignoring the pain in her shoulder. The bolt gave. She ran, up the stairs, through the restaurant, out the front door, into daylight. She flagged down a car, a tourist family. They called police. Ryan was arrested within the hour, sitting in his restaurant, calm, like he'd been expecting this. The cellar was excavated. They found remains, 3 bodies, all women, all in various stages of decomposition, all chained to that wall. DNA identified them, all local, all missing, all had matched with Ryan on Tinder, all had come to the restaurant for private dinners. Ryan had been doing this for 6 years. His restaurant was successful, well-reviewed, popular. No one suspected, because why would they? He was a pillar of the community, a business owner, someone featured in magazines. But the restaurant was never really about food. It was about access, about having a legitimate reason to invite people to a building he controlled, where he could lock doors, where he could lead them down to a cellar no one else knew about. At trial, Ryan showed no remorse, explained his system like he was describing a recipe, how he chose victims, how he isolated them, how he kept them hidden. The restaurant gave me credibility, he told the court. People trust business owners. They think if you're successful, you must be normal, safe. They're wrong. He's serving multiple life sentences. The restaurant was demolished, the cellar filled with concrete, but the building still stands. Other businesses have moved in. They don't know what happened in the basement, or they do and don't care. Amanda has permanent nerve damage in her shoulder, has nightmares about stone walls and chains, about dim lights and the smell of damp earth. But she's alive, unlike the 3 women who came before her, unlike the women whose families spent years searching, who were feet away from a busy restaurant, from people eating and laughing, who screamed and no one heard. Have you ever been impressed by someone's success, their business, their credentials? Have you let that lower your guard? Let me know in the comments, because success doesn't mean safety. Credentials don't mean kindness, and sometimes the most dangerous predators are the ones who look the most legitimate. Phoenix, Arizona, desert heat, the kind that feels like violence. Claire was 29, photographer, freelance, traveled for work, used Tinder in every city, sometimes for dates, sometimes just for company, for someone to show her around. In Phoenix for a wedding shoot, she matched with someone named Brandon, 34, tour guide, knew the desert, knew the hidden places, the spots tourists never saw. Want to see real Arizona? He messaged. Not the postcard stuff, the beautiful, dangerous places. Claire liked that. She was adventurous, thrill seeker, had hiked in Nepal, dived in caves, wasn't scared of dangerous places. Yes, she said, show me. They met at sunrise, Brandon's Jeep, modified for desert driving, supplies in the back, professional setup. We'll be gone most of the day, Brandon said. Hope you brought water. Claire was prepared, had told friends where she was going, had shared Brandon's profile, had done everything right. They drove into the desert, past trails, past markers, into the wild parts, the parts where GPS stops working, where cell towers don't reach. The landscape was beautiful, alien, red rocks and endless sky. Claire took photos. Brandon pointed out plants, animals, geological formations. He was knowledgeable, passionate. After 2 hours, they stopped. Middle of nowhere, nothing but desert in every direction. Want to see something incredible? Brandon asked. Always. He led her to a crack in the rocks, narrow, dark. There's a cave system, ancient. Native Americans used it. Most people don't know it exists. Claire hesitated. Cave systems, no cell service, miles from anywhere. This was risky, but she'd come for adventure, for the beautiful, dangerous places. This was it. How deep? She asked. Not far, 20 minutes. There's a chamber with petroglyphs, 1,000 years old. Claire made a decision. Okay, but I'm keeping my phone tracking on. No signal out here anyway, Brandon said, but smart thinking. They entered the crack, squeezed through, into darkness. Brandon had flashlights, LED, bright. The cave opened up, wider, taller, cool after the desert heat. Their footsteps echoed. This way, Brandon said. They went deeper, the entrance disappearing behind them. No natural light, just their flashlights cutting through black. After 15 minutes, they reached a chamber, large, cathedral-like, and on the walls, petroglyphs, hundreds of them, ancient art, stunning. Claire took photos, was amazed. This was worth the risk, worth everything. Then Brandon's flashlight went out. Darkness, complete, absolute. Shit, he said, battery died. Claire's flashlight was still on. She turned it toward him. He was holding something else now, not a flashlight. A gun. Drop your light, he said. Claire's blood went ice cold. Brandon, drop it. She dropped it. Darkness swallowed them. Walk forward, Brandon said, slowly, toward the back of the chamber. Claire couldn't see, couldn't run, didn't know which way was out. The darkness was disorienting, total. She walked, hands out, feeling the walls, her heart hammering so hard she thought it would break her ribs. Stop. She stopped. Sit down. She sat, stone floor, cold despite the heat outside. She heard Brandon moving, doing something. Then, light, a lantern, battery powered. He'd had it the whole time. Claire could see now. She was at the back of the chamber, and she wasn't alone. There were bones, human bones, scattered, multiple people, skulls, femurs, ribs, years of decay. Welcome to my collection, Brandon said. Claire tried not to scream, tried to think. She was a photographer. She documented things. She needed to document this. If she died, there needed to be evidence. Her phone was still in her pocket. No signal, but it had a camera. Why? She asked, keeping him talking, slowly reaching for her phone. Because I can, Brandon said. Because the desert keeps secrets. Because people come out here and disappear and no one finds them. Because I know these caves and you don't. Claire's hand found her phone. She turned it on, muted, started recording, audio at least. Maybe it would upload later. Maybe someone would find it. How many? She asked. You'll be 13, Brandon said. Lucky 13. He raised the gun, pointed it at her head. Claire closed her eyes, thought of her family, her friends, the wedding she'd photographed yesterday, the couple so happy, so in love. That would be her last work, her legacy. She waited for the gunshot. It didn't come. Instead, voices, distant, echoing through the caves. Hello? Anyone down here? Brandon froze, listened. The voices were real, getting closer. Brandon, your car's out here. You down there? Brandon swore. Don't move, he told Claire. Don't make a sound. He moved toward the chamber entrance, toward the voices, the light going with him. Claire didn't obey. She ran, opposite direction, deeper into the caves, in darkness, hands on walls, stumbling, falling, getting up, running. She heard shouts, Brandon, the other voices, confusion. Claire ran until she saw light, not from a flashlight, natural light, another entrance, smaller, harder to find, but there. She squeezed through, out into blazing sun, desert stretching forever. She ran, didn't know which direction, didn't care, just away. The voices saved her. Rangers, they'd seen Brandon's Jeep, knew the area was closed for the season, came to investigate. They found Brandon, found the bones, found evidence of 12 victims, all hikers, all tourists, all people who'd matched with Brandon on Tinder, all taken to beautiful, dangerous places, all except Claire. Brandon, is serving multiple life sentences. The caves were searched, remains recovered, families notified, years of missing persons cases closed. Claire's phone recording was used as evidence, her voice asking, "How many?" His answer, "Lucky 13. That audio sealed his conviction. She doesn't take photos anymore. Can't. Every dark space reminds her of that chamber, those bones, that moment waiting for death that didn't come. I wanted adventure," she told reporters. "I wanted to see beautiful, dangerous places. I got what I asked for, just not the way I expected." The 8th and final case, New York City. Always awake, always moving, millions of people, perfect place to disappear. Stephanie was 27, fashion blogger, influencer, 50,000 followers. Her life looked perfect online, curated, enviable, but she was lonely. The followers weren't friends. The likes weren't love. She wanted something real. She matched with someone named Alex, 32, photographer. His profile showed artistic photos, black and white, moody, beautiful. "I love your feed," he messaged. "You have a great eye for composition." They talked about photography, about art, about the loneliness of creative work. Alex understood, was thoughtful, intelligent. After a week, he suggested a photo shoot, fashion editorial. He had a concept, would feature her, could help her portfolio. Stephanie was interested. This was networking, professional, smart. "Where?" she asked. "I have a studio in Brooklyn, converted warehouse, perfect light." Stephanie checked him out, found his photography website, his portfolio, real clients, real work. This was legitimate. She said yes. Saturday afternoon, Stephanie took the subway to Brooklyn, found the address, industrial area, warehouses, art studios, normal for New York. She climbed stairs, 3rd floor, door at the end of the hall. Alex answered. Looked like his photos, artistic, edgy, black clothing, silver rings. "Come in," he said. "Let me show you the setup." The space was huge. Windows, natural light, photography equipment, backdrops, professional. "This is amazing," Stephanie said. "Thanks. Took years to put together." They discussed the concept, the poses, the mood. Alex showed her mood boards. Everything seemed professional, creative, exciting. "Let's start," he said. "Want something to drink first? Water? Coffee?" "Water would be great." Alex went to a small kitchen area. Stephanie heard him pouring. He came back, handed her a bottle, sealed, safe. She drank. They started shooting. Alex was directing, professional, made her feel comfortable, beautiful. After 20 minutes, Stephanie felt strange, dizzy, the room tilting. "I don't feel well," she said. "Sit down," Alex said. "You probably stood up too fast." Stephanie sat. The floor was moving. No, she was moving, falling. She tried to speak, couldn't. Her body wasn't responding, but her mind was awake, aware, trapped. Alex stood over her, not concerned, just watching, clinical. "The bottle was sealed," he said, "but I have a syringe injected through the cap. You didn't notice. No one ever does." Stephanie tried to move, couldn't. Could only watch as Alex pulled out his real camera, different from the professional one he'd been using. This one was handheld, personal. He started photographing her, not artistic photos, not editorial, something else, something dark. "You're going to be famous," Alex said, "just not the way you expected." Hours passed, Stephanie aware but paralyzed. Alex doing things, taking photos, setting up scenes, using her like a prop, like an object. She wanted to scream, wanted to die, wanted anything but this awareness, this helpless consciousness. When the drug finally wore off, Stephanie was chained in a different part of the studio. No windows, soundproofed, camera equipment everywhere, lights, tripods. This wasn't a photography studio. This was a production space for content, specific content, dark content. Alex appeared. "You're awake. Good. The real shoot starts now." For 2 days, Stephanie was kept there, photographed, filmed, every moment documented. Alex was professional, technical, treating this like any other job. "You have followers," he said. "They'll pay to see this, to see you, the real you, not the curated version, the broken version." He was going to sell the content on the dark web to people who paid for this, for suffering, for the destruction of something beautiful. On the 3rd day, Alex made a mistake, left his phone unlocked while setting up a shot. Stephanie grabbed it, called 911, gave the address, whispered, begged. Alex heard, tried to stop her. They fought. The phone went flying, but the call stayed connected. Dispatcher heard everything. Police arrived 8 minutes later, broke down the door, found Alex trying to flee, found Stephanie chained, found cameras, computers, servers full of content. They found more, other women, other shoots, years of content, hundreds of victims, some alive in the videos, some not. Alex ran a dark web operation, kidnapping women with social media presence, destroying them on camera, selling the content to the highest bidder. His Tinder profile was recruiting tool. He targeted influencers, women with followers, women people would recognize. That made the content more valuable. 23 women were identified from his files. 8 were dead, 11 missing, 4 survived, including Stephanie. Alex is serving 18 consecutive life sentences, will die in prison, but his content is still out there, being shared, being sold, impossible to erase completely. Stephanie deleted everything, her Instagram, her blog, her online presence, vanished digitally, lives quietly now, under a different name, away from cameras, away from attention. "I wanted to be seen," she told police. "I wanted to be famous. I got my wish, just not the way I expected. Now, I want to be invisible, and I can't, because those videos exist, because people have seen them, because I can't take it back." She testified at trial, helped convict Alex, helped identify other victims. Then she disappeared, started over, became someone else. Because the person in those videos, that person had to die, had to cease to exist. It was the only way to survive. 8 cases, 8 warnings, 8 reasons to understand that the profile isn't the person. The photos aren't reality. The messages are designed to disarm, to build false trust, to make you lower your guard. These weren't random attacks. These were hunts, carefully planned, expertly executed by people who'd studied the platform, who understood psychology, who knew exactly how to seem normal, trustworthy, safe. Daniel built trust over weeks, then drugged his victim in an empty apartment. Marcus was lured to a staged home, tortured, left in the desert, Thomas created a fake professor identity, built a prison in a storage closet. David played the patient game with single mothers, waited until they invited him inside. Chris used a fake paramedic persona to exploit exhausted nurses. Ryan owned a restaurant, used it as a trap. Brandon led victims into desert caves. Alex photographed the destruction of human beings. 8 different methods, 8 different personas, 8 different traps, but all with one thing in common: Tinder, the platform where millions meet safely, where most matches lead to nothing, where some lead to love, and where some lead to unmarked graves, to missing persons reports, to families who'll never know what happened, to lives that ended because someone swiped right on the wrong person. The door locked, the smile changed, and everything that came after was nightmare. So, the next time you match with someone perfect, ask yourself, is this real? Or is this what they want me to believe? Have they studied what I want to hear? What will make me trust? What will get me alone? Check their story, reverse image search their photos, video call before meeting, meet in truly public places, tell friends everything, share locations, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Because 8 people in this video didn't. 8 people trusted. 8 people believed. 8 people thought they were being careful enough. They weren't. And some of them are dead. Some are missing. Some survived, but will never be the same. Don't be the 9th case. Don't be the next story. Don't let someone's perfect profile become your last mistake. If this story made you delete your dating apps, good. If it made you more careful, better. If it made you understand that monsters have Wi-Fi and smartphones and know exactly how to use them best, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications, because here at Forbidden Visions we expose the darkness hiding in plain sight, the predators using our technology against us, the killers who've learned to speak our language, who know what we want to hear, who are patient, professional, perfect, until they're not. Stay safe, stay suspicious, stay alive, because somewhere right now, someone is creating a profile, choosing photos, writing a bio, studying potential victims, planning, preparing, waiting for someone to swipe right, for someone to say yes, for someone to meet them alone, vulnerable, trusting, waiting for you. Sweet dreams.